Hello, it is June 20th, and welcome to this Piney News update. Breaking news that we have to talk about are, obviously, I'm going to be, in the coming days, I'm going to be working on that divided Long Island. I'm going to talk about that. But this is breaking news, and it is in regards to Suffolk County Transit. Just when we thought everything was okay, just when we thought there weren't going to be any more cuts for Long Island transportation, it has been announced that the budget gap that was for Suffolk County Transit, they tried to pass a bill in Albany to try to fill that budget gap, but the bill, our wonderful assholes in Albany, was a deficit, and there was a bill to fill that deficit, and that bill did not get passed, and the county was counting on that money. Now, because of that, they are going to have to cut 10 to 20 bus routes. And this will affect 1,500 riders, 1,500 daily riders, and some routes may also run less often. This is about almost a third of bus service that could be cut in Suffolk County. That is a substantial amount of bus service. These cuts are way larger than the cuts that NICE made. It's a much greater percentage of service that is going to be cut, at least from what this Newsday article says. Now, a while back, I made a video about what changes I would make. You can definitely click the annotation, and I'll put the link to that video below, some of the changes I would make. However, these changes are probably going to be more drastic than anything I created. Where does the blame lie? Well, the blame ultimately lies, and I'd love to blame the tone-deaf people in Albany, all right? But the people who started this problem is Steve Bellone, Suffolk County executive, who decided to be like Ed Mangano and said he's going to cut $10 million from the Suffolk County Transit budget. And he was counting, he's like, Albany better fill this, otherwise we're going to cut it. Basically, he's sort of like calling bluffs, just like Ed Mangano did with the MTA. Well, now the chickens have come home to roost, and now we have a serious problem with a budget deficit and cuts coming. The legislature of Suffolk County is not going to fill it. They're pretty much telling people who take the bus, fuck you. That's pretty much their attitude. And I'm tired of it. I see it here in Nassau. Now I'm seeing it in Suffolk County. All right? Why must it always be the poor that have to suffer with these things? I see Audis, I see Mercedes, I see Range Rovers, I see all these expensive cars. Don't tell me you couldn't possibly hike the taxes on people who drive those expensive cars so people aren't left stranded. Don't tell me you possibly can't do that. No, of course not. After all, some poor person's like, somehow you can assume that poor people have $20, $30 to spend on a fucking taxi. So, yeah, I'm a little angry about it, but you have to be angry. So it's going to be coming out this week, and I will definitely keep you posted. But once the article comes out this week, there's going to be a list of routes that are going to be eliminated. I have a feeling which routes they're going to be. And not only is this a pain in the ass for me, it's a pain in the ass for people who depend on these routes. It's a pain in the ass for me because some of these routes I may use to go to the Pine Barrens to go hiking, and now I won't be able to get to those places anymore, which really sucks. But for the people who have to get to work and eating for really essential things, that's really where the outrage is. But this is what's going on Long Island, and that's why we're going to be talking about the divided Long Island. And the poor are having their services cut, while the rich people keep coming in and taking over, and the poor have these illegals and the criminals dumped in their communities. They want to force the poor out. They want to force the middle class out. All they want are rich people and illegal aliens that work for them. This is what I've talked about before. I don't want to freaking live in New Jersey. But I feel like one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be living there because I got forced out of Long Island because all my services were cut and because my life was made so miserable I had no other choice. Steve Bellone is a real piece of shit, just like Ed Mangano. All right? Red light cameras. The county gets all this money from red light cameras, and meanwhile, they cry broke. They get so much money from people. Where's the money going, Steve Bellone? Where is it going? Is it going in your pocket? It sure as hell ain't going back to services in the county. It's bad enough that Suffolk County hardly preserves any land at all. Like, what do they preserve? Like 10 acres a year? Whereas Ocean County does a couple of hundred a year? Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful is what I have to say. So that is what's going on with Suffolk County Transit. I will keep you posted on that. The other news that I want to talk about, funny, the same article came out the same day for people that wanted a meeting with MTA to improve East End rail service. Great, but that's not going to help when the buses are cut. Steve Ballone talks about getting people out of their cars into smart growth development and having people take these bus rapid transit, and yet you cut funding for buses. This guy is almost a bigger asshole than Ed Mangano. All right? And he's a Democrat. So all you folks who think Democrats care about the poor, well, I got a news flash for you. They don't give a shit about the poor. They don't give a shit about the middle class. All they care about are the rich. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at the media slamming Donald Trump time and time again. Every time I put on the news, they're slamming Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump doesn't work for Wall Street. That's why. He wants to get these illegals gone so he can take this country back and make America great again. But the media, they just want these illegals here for the cheap labor. All these rich people, they don't have to deal with the shit that these fucking illegals bring. They bring to my town, they bring them to other towns, the litter, the trash, the gangs, the crime, the disease, the debt. All right. I don't usually get this angry, but I am just about fed up. And I'm going to turn off the camera now. But you know what? If you're not angry, there's something wrong with you when you see what's going on. All right? We got to take back America. We got to make America great again. Not only that, we got to make Long Island great again. We got to get rid of people like Steve Ballone and Ed Mangano. We got to put people in there that are actually going to work for the people instead of the rich. And that's my piece, and I'm done. Stay tuned for the Divided Long Island coming up this week, I promise. Take it easy.